while the Vatican Registrar of Country Main Pietro Parolin told how Pope of Rome Francis's travel to Chile would not be an lightweight it was no overstatement. In the High Priest's 220 across the sea trip, he will encounter an unparalleled extent of animosity on his home mainland. While requested to estimate Pope of Rome Francis on a scope of 0 to 10, Chileans gave him a account of 5.3, the minimum rank for any Pope of Rome. Confidence in the Roman Catholic Chapel as an establishment fared the worst, voting at fair 36%, the minimum in Roman America. In such a low ranking, it is not remarkable how uplanding his aircraft of Rome, Pope of Rome Francis requested his meeting to pray for him. Chile is a earth of contrasts. It is alleged how more than rather than 60% of the people identifies himself as believer, and 45% belongs to the Roman Catholic Chapel. But it is as well the other largest worldly nation in Roman America. Several 38% of Chileans consider themselves as skeptic, secularist, or non-religious. So which are the three major challenges the Pope of Rome will person on his Chile travel? In the days up Pope of Rome Francis was due to earth in Chile, the trip came by critique for the expenses implicated time so lot human beings were fighting by the poverty reduction limit. 3 churches trapped flame following they were aim in pet devices. A4 chapel was spared any harm following and blasting was defused, but a communication leftward on a side neighboring recite, same impoverished are moribund. Flyers were as well leftward at the properties, precautionary how the following goal would be the Pope of Rome. The apostolate nunciature was as well held brief in protesters complaining on the charge of the high priest's travel. The absence of lead in fight versus corrupt practices is as well seen by lot Chileans as a way of retarding downward growth and compliance impoverished human beings of thriving. The Roman Catholic Chapel in Chile has yet to restore of the down helical how began in the as-called Caradima misuse instance. For more than rather than 10 years, regional chapel leaders neglected complaints versus the very powerful Fernando Caradima, a ancient Roman Catholic clergyman charged of annoying family. While the victims went social, the Vatican eventually studied the case and Caradima was found those guilty in 2011. Pope of Rome Francis has done precise his null toleration for misuse, but his assignment of one of Caradima's proteges, Juan Barros, as the Archbishop of Osorno in southern Chile has newly opened old wounds. On to Caradima's victims. Archbishop Barros was aware of the misuse but permitted it to occur, though he denies knowledge of the crimes. In an outdoor email, James Hamilton, one of Caradima's top-known and candid victims, told, "I yet don't know how we, the thousands of victims of misuse, were not secured by our priests, who were quiet witnesses to which was event to us." On environment, Pope of Rome Francis will trip Temuco, a town in southern Chile how acts as the in fact equity for the native Mapuche human beings. The Mapuche society has opposed colonization for 300-year fight versus Spanish colonizers at first, later the Chile nationality state, in which is deliberate one of Roman America's longest-running discord. He's a dispute how erupts in abuse regularly. The Pope of Rome is to commemorate a massive same advance of folk accompanied by dinner in Mapuche representatives. Down there are long-time issues for the society, amongst them, generic earth property, and legislative acceptance for the Mapuche tongue and civilization. Leaders expect how Pope of Rome Francis can assist them end many decades of discrimination, and axial differences.